The ultimate identity that you need for fantastic reality control. Now you may be thinking right now, what a bold claim! Who is this guy to tell us how to control our reality and what identity he's actually talking about? Just don't worry, it's all gonna make sense by the end of this video. Because for most of my life, viewing the material world, bro, I was a total loser inside of it. Of course, I still had a high self opinion about myself. I mean, I didn't look that bad. I was quite smart when it came to learning and understanding concepts and stuff like that. But when it came to actually succeeding in life, that's what I was failing the most. I was pedestalizing things like good grades, actually getting respect from the people around me. Of course, I was never sick to the point where I literally had, I don't know, like diabetes or something of that level. No, no, no. But still, life was just the same over and over again for me. It felt like I was stuck in a neutral feedback loop, if that makes sense. Nothing was happening in my life. I was viewing every single miracle, whether that would be a good grade, whether that would be a new starting point of a new journey that I would pursue, whether it would be something new that I would like to learn about. I always used to personalize all of those things, and that led me nowhere. I just was completely lost, and nothing was happening in my life. It felt like I was like a character in a story that was just meant to be a side character. You know, that nice guy who doesn't have anything going for himself, but everyone still likes him because he's just chill and he actually gets along with everyone, but yeah, he's way too nice and doesn't have, that edgy side or whatever. Yeah, that was supposed to be me. But then I noticed something very interesting. I am also at the same time a person that likes to spend all of his time in his mind, just coming up with these new story ideas, creating his own little worlds. And so I was actually quite decent at role playing, like through the entirety of my life. I just never realized it in the first place. I mean, whenever I would create my own inner world, I would used to always immerse myself in the characters so much to the point where I literally felt like I was just them in the moment. Of course, I never knew such specifics like how to control my emotions, or that I should imagine myself being in their own, acting through them through all five of their senses and stuff like that. I never used any of those advanced things. Just my eyesight alone, and imagining them speaking right in front of me was enough for me to completely immerse myself, like it was some kind of a pool and I was diving in there. It was just completely amazing. And this analogy, this comparison of me immersing myself in these characters of mine that I created paid off heavily down the line. Because way, way, way later, around February of 2025, when I started to learn a lot about manifestation and about spirituality, mental health, and our physical slash material reality, I heard this one analogy that completely caught my attention, and it completely changed my view on how I view reality. You see, everything that you see around yourself, everything that you see through your eyes in this material physical plane, whether it is this table right here, my jacket that I'm wearing right now, whether it is my skin, my flesh, my bones, whatever, whether it is you and me, you need to understand that every single one of us, every single thing in this physical reality, whether that would be a cloud or something small like a worm inside of the ground, all of it was created from the one source, the infinite intelligence, or you can call it the all, you can call it God, you can call it Allah, you can call it Krishna, you can call it whatever. All of these different kinds of religions, they pretty much always say the same thing. So yeah, you're free to call it whatever you want. I call it the infinite intelligence or God sometimes. You need to understand that we all originated from this one infinite source, and we are all just products of its imagination. That's right. And guess what? Here's something even more impressive. every single one of us, I know that we may look different. Like, for example, this table right here and me as a human. We are both different. But guess what? At the end of the day, we are God, or this infinite intelligence from within, but from the outside we look different. We are like water bottles. Everything in this universe is like a water bottle. From the inside, we all have the same infinite intelligence. Of course, it is not entirely in us, just a part just a part of it that is connected to the actual infinity out there. And surrounding it is our physical vessel, the finite version of ourselves that we, as egos on the third dimensional realm, operate from. That's why you don't realize that you're God. That's why it is hard for you to remember that you're the God over your reality, because over your entire lifetime, you've been believing that time is just an illusion. And so you believe in stuff like trauma, in stuff like anxiety, in stuff like, oh yeah, everyone remembers my past mistakes. But you need to remember that the only reason why they remember it and the only reason why you're still traumatized is that you believe that it still has an effect on you. It is just misdirected energy. Time isn't linear, my friend. It is cyclical. And don't just take this from me. I have helped countless amounts of people in the past achieve their dreamed reality and level up in their resiliency, their discipline, their willpower, their productivity, and all of these good things in the past. And guess what? None of these people have even seen my Timeless Reader's Mindsets, which is a collection of 24 unbreakable mindsets that will always guarantee you success in any kind of life test. But going back to what I was saying, you need to remember that you're God because you're inside of your own mind and you're playing the role of your character that you chose before you came onto this onto this physical plane. You're playing just a role and you're playing it so well. You've immersed yourself so much in this role that you cease to realize that you're God in the first place. That's why anything that you believe in will always come true, because you are the shiniest object in the universe. You have God inside of you. But a timeless reader, why doesn't, for example, a quasar have more power than me since it's bigger? Well, because you have a higher rate of vibration. But that's a topic for a whole nother video. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, you're a god of this reality. And you're viewing the movie that you're creating for yourself 24/7 because whatever is in your conscious mind, every single thing that you have a strong emotional charge for, whether that would be something negative or something positive, it always gets sent into your subconscious mind because emotion is the only language of the subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is basically the infinite intelligence when you think about it. And so when when all these things tap into your subconscious mind, it gets catapulted into the spiritual realm because every single mental thought that you get must always become a reality if you entertain it hard enough and if you know it and if you believe it and even push it as far as knowing that it will happen. It just always will. And so there's even a cool analogy for this. So you're looking through the camera. You're watching the movie of your life. And so of course you don't want to zoom out and you don't want to look at all of the different cameras out there. You don't want to see all the equipment, all of the mechanics that go into creating your own reality because that would be boring and that defeats the entire purpose of why the infinite intelligence created all of us in the first place. It wants to have fun, of course, since it's infinite and it's just trying to figure itself out. That's just how it works. In the infinite void of darkness, which represents the infinite intelligence, there comes light, which is consciousness. This light then creates everything that you see around yourself. It creates an image, which represents your reality. And then you change that image over and over and over again through your emotions. And this mental image that you create is like a movie. Doesn't that analogy just completely blow your mind? And this is the identity that you need to have for fantastic reality control. The ultimate identity is to realize that you are the cameraman, or more better said, you're actually the producer in the first place, and you're just watching your creation. Doesn't that just completely mind boggle you? You have the control over everything. The key is your emotional conviction, right? Your traumas, they don't matter. If you just believe that you don't have them and replace that void with something on the other side of the polar spectrum. So for example, you're traumatized because your girl left you or whatever. Okay, imagine yourself on the other end of the spectrum, on the complete polar opposite, where you have your dream wife, the one that you completely desired all along. That's just how it goes. You create the mental image. You create the movie scene yourself. You are the one that observes and creates at the same time. You're the watcher and the producer at the same time. You just don't want, because you don't want to see the equipment, right? Because that would defeat the entire purpose of having fun in the physical reality. That would just not be fun at all, right? And you would want to go back. Life is actually like a movie. It genuinely is. And you can play any kind of role that you wish. All you need to do is just adopt the mental attitude, or aka the frequency that you wish to have of the person that you want to become. If you want to be a golfer, okay, then change your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindset, your attention, your emotion, and your identity to be aligned with a pro golfer, and it will become a reality. And then from that point onwards, it is just resisting the past frequencies, which are called demons in the Bible, but in reality, they just represent different forms of consciousnesses that you've been entertaining with your attention and emotion all this time. And now they've grown so strong that you need to defeat them. And that's it. You have the power to alter your reality. After that, it is just a game of the mind. It is just one frequency against the another, your old one versus the new one, because your old one will keep on creating these circumstances that you view as quote unquote bad. And it will try to get you back because you've been feeding it for all this time. But no, you're now a new and refined timeless leader that is going for higher achievements in this life. So are you gonna stop? So are you gonna let that old frequency stop you from reaching new heights? Or are you gonna realize that it is just an illusion and that time actually doesn't exist? Because the realities that you create, they're like FPS, frames per second, just like in a video game or in a movie. What you see as, what you perceive as time, as changes going forward, are actually different realities that you create yourself, that you immerse yourself in. They just change at such a rapid rate that you cannot even perceive, the darkness. Like if you've ever, I don't know, created animations in the past, you know that you need to draw like 24 frames every single second. And so you perceive the reality so fast that you don't even recognize, that you cannot even perceive the darkness that sometimes happens, because there's just such a small delay between the images, if that makes sense. So, with that logic, you can achieve anything. You just need to believe hard enough and you need to defeat your ego. And, well, not defeat, you must understand your ego and take control of your mind, and then you can conquer your reality like the god that you are. All it comes back to is just the game of mind. Okay? So, this is the ultimate identity that you need for fantastic reality control. That's why I call it fantastic, because you can truly become whatever you want. Your own finite mind is the limit of what you can actually become. Your own creativity, is the limit. Thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you